No, it's Clive Roxon here. Well, I'm in the closing stages, and I tell you, this is bloody dangerous taking this thing off. I make these videos as kind of self-help, keep a record of it as my garage progresses. I used to set up workshop. I used to set up hydraulic rooms as a kind of thing I did it 2 or 3 times. So setting up workshops is something that I've been doing for a good bit of my life. So I know that I'm going to be able to set this shop up, and so I already know what the outcome's going to be. This thing is hellish heavy. I think it's the steel wheel on it that made it heavier. But boy, gee, picking this up, the crane was straining to pick this up. So I don't really know how much weight is on this, and you can see the way it's compressing the tires. It's got a fair bit of weight on that. But my crane, I had to take it off on an angle. And when it's relatively light, it's okay. But this thing was so heavy, I thought if this comes off the side of the bench and goes chunk on that chain and then broke the chain, that would probably be the end of my lathe. So I didn't like doing it the way I had to do it. I had to hoist it up and hold it away from me until I could get it off the bench. But if it had to let go, these bolts are stainless steel, but just the same, they can snap. And I've had to secure it on this end. As you can see, it's a bit sort of precarious. It's just sort of hanging around. Things like that can throw themselves off balance and like roll off this trolley. So yeah, I've had to take a lot of precautions with this. But with my crane, what I want to do is change the pickup length, or calculate that out. So I'd probably want to be able to pick it up maybe at that pin there or that pin there, and then extend the legs out maybe only just about this far and make some short legs for it, so that I can directly face the bench and pick it up directly facing the bench, which would be much safer, and maybe make some little extensions up that I can put down to stabilise it. But I didn't like the way I had to pick that up. I'm a bit restricted with room, but all in all it went pretty good. I chained it up really securely. Tip number 52, when you do something like this, I had a day break. I got it all finished, I got it all set up, I got it all lined up, and then I had a break for a day. And people often sort of accuse you of not finishing things. Don't do something like this when you're tired. You get eager to get the thing on the lathe, and you start doing things in a hurry, and you're dealing with something extremely heavy. And frankly, if I had gone through and done this when I was a bit tired, I could have lost my fingers, because when you're pulling something and holding onto it, they can do all sorts of weird things, and they can flip around, and you can lose your fingers with this sort of stuff. So I've had a bit of experience with lifting things, and this thing is like really sort of weird because it's got this swinging pivot, and you don't know what the heck it's going to do. It can flip upside down or anything. So I'm going to make it so that I can face the crane directly to the bench and pick it up and then put it down. So I don't wheel it around the shop like that. I just basically put it on the cart, and then I'll wheel it over the lathe and then pick it up again. But the cart's handling the weight okay. That's a piano trolley that I bought from, oh no, that's right. Yeah, I asked whether they had one and they said no, and they bloody well did, so I'm not going to mention where I bought that. But yeah, it's a piano trolley, I believe, but it comes in real handy. I was going to use that for dynamics testing, and I've been setting the design area up a little bit more, and starting to accrue more stuff. This is where I'm going to be doing my designs. I bought myself a nibbler for my 3D printer, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to sandwich the PLA in between two either aluminium plates or steel plates. It's got to be dead flat to work efficiently, and maybe use a bit of Celastic to bind it or bond it together, and you can make quite strong parts. I want it to make up that crane, and I want it to give it strength, the PLA strength, so that's one way of doing it. And you can be pretty precise with those nibblers. So yeah, it's all coming along nicely. The lathes are all ready to receive, so I'm going to sweep up down here now, swept up around the bench. But this is all kind of getting ready for assembly. I've got it reasonably clean here, and I don't know, a couple of days away. Anybody else could have knocked this over in a day or something. I've cleaned my bench up. I've been cleaning up all my shelves now finally, and starting to get a little bit of organisation. I found all my cutting bars. These are my lathe cutting bars, and so it all takes time. I want to that's another one there. I want to get a quick change head for this, but I needed more horsepower, and I go away from the lantern head, and hopefully at a later date maybe putting a milling attachment on that. So yeah, it's coming along nicely. I'm taking my time, no rush. I make a mistake, I've got no lathe, so, and this is a kind of assembly bench. I've got motors all over the place. Got myself a nice toolbox. That's a beautiful one. It's got the sliders. I've got a couple of sockets. There's all these sockets. But it's got those roller bearings in it, so it's a really nice bench, that. And it's got little separate things for me taps and dies. So yeah, it's all coming along nicely. Then probably the first job that I'm going to do is modify that crane so that I can have a couple of different legs that I can put onto it, and be able to change the legs over and shorten it so I can pick directly off the bench. So, Clive Rocksinger over and out.